draft a week and a half away. I'm going to be making my first Lions mock draft of 3. Now, I decided I'm not going to do any breakdowns on any players this year. I didn't do many last year, I don't think either. I really don't know how many I did last year. But from how the free agency profiles went, I don't think it makes a lot of sense for me to do the player comps and player profiles and stuff like that. So we're just going to be doing a couple mock drafts. We're going to be doing 3 mock drafts. We'll be doing one today, which will be released very late tonight on the 13th. Next Sunday or next weekend at some point, Saturday or Sunday. And then we'll be doing one on draft day very early in the morning on Thursday. That will be pre-recorded, obviously, because I'll be at school. But we'll be doing one then, and that'll be the final 3 Lions mock drafts. I will do a big board probably for defensive end, and that'll probably be it for me when it comes to the pre-draft process. I just don't feel like doing draft breakdowns. I don't think they'll do well, especially how the free agency profiles went. I'll probably say a lot of stupid stuff because I don't go into every player like that. At defensive end, I really have. But when it comes to like safeties and guard and stuff like that, I watch the players, but I don't go really deep into them and look at like how many sacks they allowed and stuff like that and how many snaps they took. I just go off of the film when it comes to those positions because I really don't care. The Lions have to go defensive end and pick 28. So that's the positions I really took. That's why I said we'll probably do a big board video about the defensive ends and every defensive end that's projected to get drafted. But that'll be it for the draft process. But this is the first mock draft. Now my voice hurts because I just recorded a 40-minute round 1 mock draft. If that's why my voice sounds kind of scratchy right now, that's why. But at pick 28, the Lions make a trade. They move up to pick 20 with the Denver Broncos. The Broncos receive pick 28 and pick 60. They receive our second round pick. The Lions receive pick 20 and pick 122. The Broncos' 4th round pick. To select with the 20th overall pick in 2025 draft, the Detroit Lions select Shamar Stewart, defensive end, Texas A&M. The guy was not productive in college. He was not. But I absolutely love this combine. He had arguably the best combine performance of any defensive end or of any player in this year's combine. Not very productive in college, but when you look at the film, the guy has the potential to be an elite defensive end. He fell here to pick 20. I had to trade up. He was the best defensive end available. I had to trade up and get him. His size is unreal. His size is not quite as good. His size was kind of down at the combine. I believe he's like 268 now or somewhere around there. His size has gone down. He was like, I think it's actually 258 is what he is now. But he was like 275 last year playing in college. He had great size, still very good size, and he still plays bigger than 258. But Shamar Stewart is a low risk. It's a high risk, but it's a high risk, high reward scenario. He's either gonna suck, he's gonna be horrible in the NFL, and he's gonna be out of the league within 2 or 3 seasons, or he's gonna be almost a top 5 defensive end within 2 or 3 years. There's no question, in my opinion, with Shamar Stewart. He is gonna be the most hit or miss defensive end in the draft in probably over a decade. I mean, there's no question. His production in college is extremely low. I believe he had 3. How many sacks did he have this past season? I think he had 3 sacks this past season. He is not productive at all in college. I don't even think he had that, matter of fact. I think he had 1 sack this past season in college. He is not a productive defensive end at all. He can even move in the inside. But Shamar Stewart, he is just too good when it comes to the film. I think he's got a great get-off, an absolutely great get-off, good hand placement. He's got to go in the first round, in my opinion. If the Lions, if he's sitting here at pick 20, they have to move and get him, especially if guys like Mike Green, Jalen Walker have gone off the board. Now, Shamar Stewart had 1.5 sacks his first year in college, 1.5 sacks his second year, and 1.5 sacks his final year in college. So only a total of 4.5 sacks in college in his 3-year career. Not productive, but again, when you watch the film, he is just too talented of a player not to trade up and get him here. Now, we have another trade. I know it sounds crazy. There will be a lot of trades in this video, and I think Brad Holmes is personally going to make 3 to 4 trades in this draft, so that's what we have doing. And the Lions make another huge move here. The Lions, do not have their second round pick anymore, pick 60. So guess what? They have traded with the Buffalo Bills. The Buffalo Bills are going to receive pick 102, which is our 3rd round comp pick for Aaron Glenn this year. They're going to receive our original 4th round pick, pick 130. And they're going to receive a 2026 3rd round pick. The Lions are going to receive pick 62, the Bills' 2nd round pick, a 2026 5th round pick, and pick 206, which is a 6th round pick, to select Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State. Jaden Higgins, I absolutely love. He is my 4th ranked receiver in this draft. It just makes too much sense here for the Lions not to take and trade up and get Jaden Higgins. I think the Lions can afford to do something like this. They move back 2 rounds in next year's draft and still have an extra 5th round pick and a 3rd round pick. They have two 5th round picks and a 3rd round pick in next year's draft, so they still have that 3rd and have an extra 5th now. And they give up their 3rd round pick and 4th round pick, but they did get a 4th round pick by moving back with the Broncos. So I think this trade makes sense. Jaden Higgins personally, I don't think will be here at pick 62. He'll probably go around pick 45, I would say around pick 45, pick 55, somewhere around there is probably where he's going to go. Again, I absolutely love Jaden Higgins. Great size, 6'4", I believe he's 218. Kenny Galladay type size, smaller school, but he had around 1,100 yards last year in college. I believe 8 touchdowns. He was very, very productive receiver. I think he's going to be an absolute monster in the NFL, and I think the Lions take a risk here and trade up and get Jaden Higgins to potentially become wide receiver 3 or even wide receiver 2 in the future, depending on what they want to do with Jameson Williams. Now, we will not trade up again with this pick. We now do not have pick 102. So, next pick we have is pick 122, the 4th round pick we received from the Broncos in the move to get Shamar Stewart. And wait a minute, never mind, we did have another trade. Oh my God, I forgot how many trades I made here. We are trading back with the Baltimore Ravens. The Baltimore Ravens are going to move up to pick 122. The Lions are going to move back to pick 136, and they receive a pick 183, which is the 6th round pick from the Baltimore Ravens. With the 136th pick in 2025 NFL Draft, the Detroit Lions select Jalen Reed, safety, Penn State. He visited with the Lions. He's from Detroit. He's a Detroit native. I've not watched very many safeties at all at the making of this video, but Jalen Reed has been one of them. I've loved his film, loved his production at Penn State. I think he's going to be an absolute monster in the NFL. Lions potentially get their safety 3 of the future here in Jalen Reed. And now, the Lions. This is unreal. They have another trade, but I will warn you, this is the final trade I made. This is the 4th and final trade I made. The Lions trade up with the Houston Texans. They move up to pick 166. The Houston Texans receive pick 196 and 206. 206 is with the 6th round pick that we received from the Bills to get Jaden Higgins. With the 166th pick in the 2025 NFL Draft, that's a 5th round pick, by the way, the Detroit Lions select Riley Mills, defensive tackle, Notre Dame. Very productive defensive tackle in college. I believe I had 7.5 sacks last season. I love Riley Mills. Again, I haven't watched much defensive tackles in this year's draft, but Riley Mills has been one of them. We have a lot of defensive tackles on 1-year deals that are on the last year of their contract this upcoming year. DJ Reader, Levi Owens-Enrique, Roy Lopez, we have a lot of defensive tackles on the final year of their deals. So you get a future option here. I think he's going to be an absolute monster in the NFL. I think in the 5th round is pretty decent value. He's probably going to go around the 5th round. But I went ahead and take him. He's the best defensive tackle available. I wanted to get a defensive tackle in this draft, and I think we had the picks to do it. So I went ahead and traded up here with the Houston Texans to select Riley Mills. I think that's enough value to move up. I don't know. It should be. But there it is. Now, with the 183rd pick that we got from the Baltimore Ravens by moving back, the Detroit Lions select Jackson Slater, guard, Sacramento State. He is a guard who's very talented at Sacramento State. The problem is he's from a very small school. Very, very small school. I haven't watched much film with Jackson Slater, but he was the best guard available. I knew he was. This is like a low-risk, high-reward scenario here. You take him with the 6th round pick. He has the chance to start right away. He's probably going to go most likely around the 5th round more than the 6th round. But I think this is a good pick by the Lions. It just makes too much sense here, in my opinion. And they go Jackson Slater, who can potentially be a starter down the line. They could still add a guard through free agency. Now you got as your backups right now. As your starters, you got Christian Mahogany and Graham Glasgow as your starters right now. With potentially Jackson Slater competing with one of those guys to take over a starting role. And you got Natane Moody, who I love a lot, as a backup, who could also compete with a starting role. So, the Detroit Lions select Jackson Slater, pick 183. Now the Lions don't pick till pick 228, and with the 228th pick in 2025 NFL draft, the Detroit Lions select Thomas Fedone, tight end, Nebraska. Very productive tight end in college. I believe the Lions hosted him for a visit. He had 350 yards this past year receiving. He can block. Bigger tight end. He's 6'6", 250. He is very good, I believe, from the film I've watched. I haven't watched a whole lot of film, but again, from the film I've watched, I really like what he is here. Probably going to go around the 6th, 7th round. I think this is a good pick by the Lions. And with the final pick in the 2025 NFL draft for the Detroit Lions, they select the 244th pick in 2025 draft. The Detroit Lions select Colin Oliver, defensive end, Oklahoma State. He's a defensive end / linebacker, a little bit undersized, but he's probably going to be a defensive end in the NFL. Had 11 sacks his rookie year in college, but has not been productive since due to injury and just not been productive. But very fast getting off the line of scrimmage. He can play both positions. You need a linebacker, so he could play linebacker for you and kind of be a Sam linebacker and rush the passer like Derek Barnes. Maybe take some relief off Derek Barnes and have Derek Barnes more of a linebacker. Do a lot of scenarios here. So that's what the Lions do. So again, recap. The Detroit Lions trade up with the Denver Broncos at pick 22 select Shamar Stewart, defensive end from Texas A&M. The Lions then yet again traded up with the Buffalo Bills at pick 62 to select Jaden Higgins, wide receiver, Iowa State. The Lions traded back from pick 122 with the Baltimore Ravens to select Jalen Reed, safety from Michigan. Safety from Penn State. I wrote that down wrong. And the Lions trade up with the Houston Texans to select Riley Mills, defensive tackle, Notre Dame. And the Detroit Lions with pick 183, who they got from the Baltimore Ravens by trading back, select Jackson Slater, guard, Sacramento State. And with the first 7th round pick that they had, they selected Thomas Fedone, tight end, Nebraska. And with the second 7th round pick they had, pick 244, they selected Colin Oliver, defensive end / linebacker, Oklahoma State. I know my voice was horrible in this video. I'm sorry if it was really scratchy and stuff. It's really scratchy for me right now. I'm about to drink about 5 bottles of water after this video and go to sleep because my voice hurts right now. But that's it for the mock draft. I'm going to not talk for about a day now. So go ahead and wrap this video up. One Pride Go Lions. What do you think of my first mock draft on the channel? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. I give this draft for the Detroit Lions. I'd probably give it an A-. I'd like another defenseman, but it is what it is. So, one Pride Go Lions. Sorry about the voice.